For as long as most of us can remember, the music industry has had this one specific way of doing things. Artists make the music, and in this long line of middlemen, takes a piece of the pie before the money ever gets to them. But what if we could change the record? Today, we're diving into how music NFTs are proposing a totally new spin on how artists get paid, and, just as important, how fans connect with the music they love.
All right, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get into why the current system is, well, broken. Then we'll unpack what music NFTs actually are. After that, we'll look at all the cool benefits, but we'll also face the risks head-on. And finally, we'll take a peek at what the future might hold.
So, first things first. Before we can talk about any kind of solution, we've got to understand the problem we're even trying to solve here. And it really all comes down to the tough financial reality for musicians in the age of streaming.
Okay, just take a look at this number. 1 million streams. That sounds like a massive success, right? I mean, a million of anything is a lot. But for an independent artist, all that work, all that reach could end up being as little as $3,000. After the platform, the label, the distributors, after everyone takes their cut, there's just painfully little left for the person who actually created the art.
And this right here, this visual just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the old way. It's this long, complicated, messy chain where money just leaks out at every single step. But now look at the right. That's the NFT model. It's clean, it's direct, it's a two-way street connecting the artist and the fan. And that fundamental shift, that's the entire idea behind music NFTs.
So, how does this all actually work? We know the problem, so let's get into the solution. Now, the word NFT can sound super complex and techy, I get it, but the core idea is actually surprisingly simple when you break it down. At its heart, a music NFT is basically just a digital receipt. Think of it as a unique, verifiable certificate of ownership that says, hey, you own this thing. And it's all locked in on a blockchain, which is just a fancy term for a super secure public ledger, so everybody can see who owns what and it can't be faked. And here's the best way to wrap your head around it. We all get why a signed, limited edition vinyl record is special, right? It's rare, it's authentic. Well, an NFT does the exact same thing, but for a digital file. It brings that same idea of scarcity and provable ownership into a world where, until now, everything could be copied a million times with a single click. Okay, now this is the real game changer. This is where things get really, really powerful for artists. It's the magic of what's called a smart contract. When an artist creates an NFT, they can bake a royalty rule right into the code itself. So not only do they get paid on the first sale, but if that NFT is ever sold again for any price at any time, the artist automatically gets a cut. Forever. No more chasing payments, it just happens. But this isn't just about the artists getting paid, which is huge, of course. This new model completely flips the script for the fans, too. It changes what it even means to be a fan. Let's look at how it empowers both sides of this relationship. For the artist, the upsides are pretty clear. We're talking direct, immediate payments, no more waiting around for checks. They cut out the middlemen and keep a way bigger piece of the pie. They get that passive income from resales we just talked about, and they can get super creative bundling music with digital art or backstage passes or exclusive videos. And what's in it for the fan? Well, for starters, you get to truly own a piece of your favorite music. You're not just renting it from a streaming service. You know your money is going straight to the artist you want to support. And because you own a real asset, if that artist blows up, the value of your NFT might go up too. You actually get to share in their success. This quote from our source material just nails it. It perfectly sums up the whole shift. The relationship changes from just passively listening to actively participating. You're not just on the sidelines anymore, you have a real tangible stake in the art you love. Okay, so this all sounds pretty amazing. Maybe almost too good to be true. And that's exactly why we have to talk about the other side of the coin. Because this is brand new territory, and that means it comes with some pretty significant risks. And this chart shows you the single biggest danger in a nutshell, the hype bubble. When a new technology gets a ton of buzz, prices can just skyrocket to these crazy, unsustainable levels. That's the tall bar. But when that excitement eventually cools off, the value can crash, leaving people holding an asset that's worth way less than what they paid for it. Yeah, it's so important to remember this is still a really speculative market. A lot of the people buying in right now aren't true fans of the music. They're just hoping to make a quick buck. Plus, the legal and tax rules are still a huge gray area. And honestly, there's a real danger that focusing so much on money could end up cheapening the art itself. So we've seen the incredible promise, and we've stared the risks right in the face. Where does that leave us? Let's zoom out and try to imagine, if this technology can get past these early challenges, what could the music industry look like in, say, 5 or 10 years?
Well, we could see a future where buying a limited edition NFT is as normal as firing up Spotify. We might see these incredible experiences where one single token gets you the album, the concert ticket, and the virtual reality afterparty. Fans could even directly fund an album's creation and have a say in the final product. And hopefully, we'll get clear rules and regulations that make it a much safer space for everybody.
You know, when you strip away all the hype, all the crazy prices, and the technical jargon, this is the vision. This is what's driving the whole movement. It's all about rebalancing the scales and building a fairer system where value flows directly between the people who create art and the people who love it.
And that, of course, leaves us with the big open-ended question. Are music NFTs just a temporary bubble, a fleeting tech fad that we'll forget about in a few years? Or are we witnessing the very beginning of a fundamental revolution in how music is made, owned, and valued? Only time is going to tell.